Should you buy artist quality paints, and are they going to make a big difference to your painting? That's one of the questions I'm going to be looking at in this video. And as the central piece to this video, I'm going to be looking specifically at Maimeri's top of the line range of paints, the Puro range of paints, premium artist quality paint. How does it compare to a few other paints? And what do you look for in an artist quality paint? We're going to try to answer these questions and do a little painting as well. So stick around and watch the rest of the video. All right, Maimeri Puro, where do they stand in the whole range of paints? Well, Maimeri has a few amazing oil paints, and I use the Classico range for my basic student tutorials. It's the paint I recommend most students will be happy with and should try out when they are learning to paint. Maimeri Classico, really excellent student paints. Then we've got Maimeri Artisti, a range of artist quality paints. And on top of that, we have the Maimeri Puro, the ultimate range. The finest ingredients, premium pigmentation, all the things you expect from a premium artist quality paint. What's the difference between the Puro and the Artisti? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I've tried Artisti before and I don't really believe I notice any real difference. So here we are on the Maimeri website looking at the Artisti range, the artist quality range, and as it says here, oil plus pigment, nothing else. And then have a look at the Puro description here also. No foreign substances that can alter the characteristics or reduce quality. Oil plus pigment and nothing else. No fillers, just a minimum quantity of additives to improve the paint's rheological properties. Presumably that's just linseed oil or something like that. In any case, it's difficult to see exactly what's the difference between this and the Artisti range, but there you are. You decide which one you prefer. Look at this. Maimeri Puro Vintage Luxury Box. So this for Christmas, eh? Bottom line is you can't go wrong with either Artisti or Puro. But I haven't tried Puro before. Now I've got my hands on a set of paints that I purchased and I'm going to have a go with them. And we're going to compare them to the Classico and some Rembrandt paint as well. Let's take a closer look at these paints in action. Okay, let's have a look at some of the color tests. I'm just curious to compare the cadmium lemon of the Maimeri Puro with the Classico version of yellow lemon. And as you know, Classico is a student quality paint, very good student quality paint made by the same company. And then Rembrandt cadmium yellow lemon, which is artist quality, and let's see how that also compares. So we'll put the Rembrandt aside for a moment, and that's the white. Let's get out lemon yellow. Packaging is really so attractive, isn't it? Really impressive. All right, Maimeri cadmium lemon, 40 ml tube. Bit of oil coming out there as well, which is expected when you open a new tube of paint. Right, the Classico. Now immediately I can see a difference. The Classico is a bit sort of thicker in consistency, little less oil. The Puro just looks shinier and softer. As a result, you just get that sense. So let's have a look at this Puro. Let's just move it around. So this is just assessing workability, and it is very soft and buttery, as you can see. Very bright, oily, beautiful consistency. You do not need mediums with this paint. It's ready to go. And you can see it forms these peaks as well, which is nice because it's not so oily that it's just going to settle down. So you can get nice texture as well. Let's look at the Classico. Alright, so immediately I can tell that it is not as soft. It's certainly not as oily. You can probably see that it's not as shiny as that, but it's not as strong as in pigment as the Artist Quality. Well, let's try the Rembrandt. Another Artist Quality paint, this time made by Royal Talens in the Netherlands. Maimeri is Italian. Okay, so the Rembrandt also extremely soft, buttery, shiny as well. Very vibrant paint. Pretty much, I can't quite say which of these is on the face of it, any real difference. They have the same sort of consistency, buttery quality. The Puro definitely feels a little bit oilier. It might just be because it's out of a new tube and some of that oil does separate when it's in storage. So yeah, I'd say the Puro and Rembrandt are of an equal workability. They look the same, both shiny, both soft and buttery. The Classico just a bit firmer, not as shiny. And just, you can see a slight pigment step down compared to these two. So I'm going to do a quick little sketch of this pepper and then try out the colors. Obviously, we've got a strong red, we've got some strong greens, and I think I'll get a pretty good idea of just how powerful these colors can be. I'm adding some titanium white, and as you can see, I'm actually using a vermilion as my red. Not a color I use very often. There's quite a lot of oil has come out of that cobalt greenish color. So I'm going to use some of that to loosen up the shadow color, which is more or less a dark violet. Very important to get a shadow under your still life painting to attach it to the surface it's on so it doesn't look like it's floating. Alright, no white paint. Let's just use a bit of yellow and the vermilion and get some color blocked in. And immediately you can see it's just really powerful fire engine red going onto that pepper. So that's just perfect. A little bit of pure color going on now, just straight vermilion in the middle there, and now a little bit of yellow in it, and it just gives that beautiful red-orange color. Now I'm painting very thin. This is just a block-in at this point, but the colors are strong. No white paint required at this point. Just pure colors mixed one into the other. Really very, very strong color. Perfect for a painting like this. Now I must emphasize with painting with colors like this, artist quality colors, you don't need a lot of white paint. And in fact, as you're probably aware from videos I've done in the past as well, use as little white paint as possible to get the vibrancy of your colors. Now that's not to say that you don't bring in white paint to desaturate colors, because sometimes you clearly do need that to get the correct value or to just make the colors look more real. But you can see how little has been required so far, and this pepper is quite well developed in its block-in stage already. So if you go into a painting with too much white paint, you're simply ruining the effect of using artist quality paints, because the white is too cold, it's too opaque, you lose vibrancy, you lose the warmth of your colors. So my advice is to rather go for a bit more saturation, go for a slightly darker value where you can, and then when you do the lights, make sure they have plenty of paint pigment. So when you add your white paint in, you're not creating a pasty, cold color. It's still going to be vibrant, it's still going to be colorful, and it's not going to make your painting look like it's suffering from too little life. Now these darks I've put in, I'm now making the edges softer and just blending very quickly. I'm not really taking too much time with the edges. Now I've got to bring in more color again, because I make the shapes a little too big and then cut in to get them into the proportions I require. And in this way, the painting looks a little more real, I guess is the word, and also not too hard-edged. Basically, all these shapes are quite soft. The slightly darker shapes, the touches of green on the tips of the pepper, and the reds. But as you can see, still just bring in a little bit of white to get a highlight. And even that highlight is still quite warm and full of the red pigment. Building the painting up stroke by stroke to get some little bit of interest and complexity to it. It's one of those subjects that because it's got this sort of waxy texture that picks up a lot of reflected light, you can get a bit sidetracked with that. I'd rather just build up the color and get a vibrant still life painting instead of one that is trying to play around with too many reflections. Now just cutting in a little to reduce some of the dark green areas, bring them a bit back into proportion. And it's coming along nicely, and just a nice little exercise, something you can do in 20 to 30 minutes. And you can learn so much from doing little still life studies like this, and the end result can be really pleasing. No pressure, just a bit of fun. And as you go back and forth, adding a little bit of color, taking some away, just keep in mind you want rich color, emphasize the vibrancy, and you're working with beautiful artist quality paints. You don't want to lose that paint and all of that pigment you've paid a lot of money for. So get the most out of it by using more paint. Second layers, even a third layer. Just creating a little bit of simplicity onto the stalk there. Quite impressed with the cobalt greenish. I'm using it like I would cerulean blue actually, but I think that sort of slight greenish tint to it has helped with this painting. Adjusting the shadow there to make it look just a little more colorful. So I'm quite pleased with the end result, and I pushed on and just added a background. And the paints, I think, performed extremely well. artist quality paints are a step up, a significant step up in many cases from student grade paints. You saw with the Classico a thicker paint, but certainly the pigmentation is not up there with the Puro or Rembrandt. So artist quality, definitely more workable, more buttery, stronger pigmentation, and that's going to translate to more vibrant color in your paintings, provided you handle them carefully and with confidence, applying the basic techniques well, so you don't waste the paint and muddy it up. So if you're ready to try out some artist quality paints, you can phase yourself into it. Perhaps stump up for the cadmiums. They are going to pack the most punch, especially with the type of painting I do. The cadmiums really give me that opaque power that I'm looking for. So I would put my money behind something like a cadmium yellow deep, cadmium yellow lemon. Those are going to give me the big punch in my sort of sun-filled paintings. With you, it might be something else. If you're doing portraits, you may be looking at some of the earthier colors, some of the reds as well, to give you that extra depth of color. So that's the way I was working with it. I would just add a little extra to my set of paints until I had a basic range of good artist quality primary colors. Now, of course, we are spoiled for choice. There are amazing artist quality paints out there on the market, different brands, and people are going to argue which is best. They're all excellent. That's the bottom line. It's a kind of a case of building up your collection and also working towards what is best for your budget. The economy is quite tough at the moment, and even manufacturers are looking to get rid of their paints. They need to sell paints. Art supply stores need to sell paints. See what's on special. There's always a special going on something. Artist quality paints may be a little more difficult to move, so you may pick up a few bargains. And don't be shy. Ask your retailer if they will give you a special price as an artist. A discount on a range of paints is going to help your pocket, and it's going to help the retailer move those paints off the shelves so they don't gather dust. So these are ways to improve your art supplies and also build up a relationship with your art retailer. Subscribe to the channel and you'll catch more videos coming up soon, but also try out one of my free painting courses that is going to help you build up your fundamentals and techniques. So when you try out your artist quality paints, you're going to be handling them with a lot more confidence. Well, that's it. Until next time, enjoy your painting and cheers for now.